My paper is called Unpaid Housework and Super-Exploitation of Labor, a suggested model and empirical evidence from Mexico and Colombia. The study suggests a mathematical model of unpaid housework and empirically tests its main predictions using recent data from Mexico and Colombia time use surveys. The model is based upon the Marxist feminist approach and implies that the magnitude of unpaid domestic labor is determined by the super-exploitation of labor. The central idea of the model can be summarized as follows. First, following the Marxian tradition, the value of labor power is the cost of the consumption goods bundle required for the reproduction of each working class household. Second, according to Latin American dependency school, when wages are under the value of labor power, there is superexploitation of labor. This superexploitation indicates a gap between consumption goods required for household reproduction and the wage goods purchased by them. In consequence, superexploitation of labor is linked to a lack of goods that working class households must produce employing unpaid housework. Thus, a directly proportional relationship between superexploitation of labor and unpaid housework is the central prediction of the model and the hypothesis of my paper. Furthermore, within my approach, the magnitude of unpaid housework is determined with independence of its subsequent gender-based distribution among the members of the household. Using data from Mexico and Colombia time use surveys, I estimate 4 econometric models, parametric and non-parametric regressions, and I found empirical evidence in favor of the hypothesis. The results have several implications concerning the Marxist feminist literature on unpaid domestic labor. First, it supports the idea of a close relationship between waged and unwaged labor raised by several authors like Liz Vogel, Marta Jimenez, or Titi Bhattacharya. Therefore, it presents evidence against the idea of unpaid housework as an independent or autonomous sector as in Jacques Couvenoir. Second, the model is in concordance with Liz Vogel and Duncan Foley's suggestion to consider unpaid housework as part of the Marxian necessary time. In addition, the model has important differences with other formal models suggested in the Marxist feminist literature. In comparison with Nancy Folberg's model of 1982, we do not consider unpaid housework as abstract or socially necessary labor. Instead, we consider unpaid housework as concrete or private labor. The logic of our model did not require any assumption or commensurability between those different kinds of labor. Furthermore, we do not consider unpaid housework as part of the value of labor power. Instead, we define unpaid housework as a working class household's response to wages beneath a determinate magnitude of the value of labor power. Concerning classical-based empirical research on unpaid work, this model has also several implications. First, this model better explains the inverse relationship between wages and unpaid housework found by the neoclassical-based literature. As wage decreases, then superexploitation of labor increases and unpaid housework increases too. Second, this paper offers an alternative point of departure to the explanation and analysis of time poverty. The empirical analysis of this research could be extended with minor methodological adjustments to other Latin American countries that have applied time use surveys, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and so on, as well other middle-income countries with available time use data. On the other hand, the empirical research in developed countries, although viable, could imply important methodological adjustments regarding the value of labor power and the possible effects of government transferences, among other factors.